One of the issues that concerns me is that we are incarcerating so many women, and our women's prison, the primary one, is now so overcrowded that there are women sleeping on the floor. But the other issue I think that we have to think about is that we seldom incarcerate women without impacting children. A good number of the women, a majority of the women, have children, and when they are incarcerated, there usually is not a father who can take care of those children in about half of the cases, which means we're looking to friends and family, or we're putting those children into foster care. Now, the consequences of that are really twofold. One is that if they're in foster care, it costs the state a good deal of money. And the other is that whether they're in foster care or with friends and family, it really has an impact, a psychological, mental health impact on a child to be separated from their mother. So what I think about is, do we need to incarcerate all of these women? And so when I looked at the number one reason of why they're incarcerated, it's because of possession of a controlled substance. That means they have a drug problem. We know from research that women and men use drugs for different reasons. And the primary reason that women get involved in drugs is that they are basically a painkiller for what they have experienced in their lives. Psychological, physical, and sexual abuse. So we really would be much smarter if we were investing in helping people treat their drug problems, helping them deal with the emotional and mental health problems that their childhoods have experienced. Those who work in child developmental brain research talk about toxic stress. Kids that grow up in a violent home or have violence against them in their childhood carry it with them for the rest of their lives. If we have good programming in prison, we can help women deal with that, but they don't need to be in prison to have access to good programming. So one of the bills that I've been working on this year is trying to give greater options to law enforcement. If they encounter someone who obviously has a chemical dependency problem and the crime that they've committed is below the felony level, then they have some choices, not just to take this person to jail or to an emergency room, but also to try and see that they get into some kind of treatment program. So I think we need to be a little more smart about crime, particularly when it comes to women, because it has that ripple effect that affects other parts of our society. Another area that state government gets involved in is trying to find permanent homes for children who have been in foster care and the parents have not been willing or able or available to go through whatever programming or treatment is necessary to make it safe for that child to return home. And that's when we go through the legal process of terminating parental rights. People may recall that I did a bill last year that talked about adoption and our concern about making sure that adopted children are safe. There was a report called Severe Abuse of Adopted Children that was very uncomfortable to read. 2 fatalities, one of them a foreign adoption of a young woman, Hannah Williams, from Ethiopia. And that case was given a great deal more attention this summer and fall when her parents were charged and convicted of her murder. When a family adopts a child, they are often taking on some challenges that they didn't anticipate. If it's a baby, it's, oh boy, isn't this a cute little baby? Usually, that's a fairly easy adoption, but not necessarily. We have children with all sorts of special needs as they grow up. If you take on someone from another culture or who's a little bit older, there's a whole range of challenges. I mean, any of us who've raised our own teenagers know that there are lots of challenges with that. So in writing the new bill, we really have focused on two areas. One is that we do a better job of screening the family and making sure that we, for the best of our knowledge, think that this is going to be a safe and happy home where the parents can handle what's going on. But the other thing we want to do is make sure that adoptive parents have more support, that they understand that if it comes to their attention that this child does have post-traumatic stress or mental health problems, that they don't just try and handle all of that on their own, which can be so overwhelming, that they have a sense of what the resources are that are available. So in this bill, we talk about putting together a task force that will have lots of information about who to turn to, where you can go to provide the kind of support that'll help make the adoption successful. And that's really our goal in this legislation, to make it a good experience for both the parents and for the child. This bill is now in the Senate, and I am keeping my fingers crossed that it will get passed this year.